Welcome back and welcome to part 2 of introducing you to D5. Here we will continue where we've left off from part 1. Let's jump straight in.
And things like that. So similar setup to the models, you have like some categories here, ceramic, concrete, and they have their subcategories. How we applied this brick texture, it will also be in your recent. So like before, anything you've added to the scene will head down to your recents as well. But you can also scroll down here, outdoor ground. There's a whole bunch of different options. This is where we did get our brick from. I believe it was on page 2, but we're just going to go back to recents. And then this was one of the bricks used. I'll apply this one just so you can see the difference in how it works. So once again, just tapping on the material and then you tap on the surface. One thing I will say is you want to make sure every surface in your scene is set by a different material, whether that's in Rhino or Revit or anything like that. I will show you how to change the materials. So we'll head over to, if we just escape this, we'll head back into Rhino here. So say we want this floor, that's going to be brick, to be a different material. So you can head back over, so it's the site surface. And if you go down to site surface, here it is, and then you're clicking on the material tab. And this is where you want to set, so you can see here, everything that I'm using in D5 has got a different material set to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be the material you're going to use in D5, but D5 does have to read it as a different material. So because you might find that you have quite a lot of materials within your scene. So what I'd recommend is, and you can get through the list that they give you pretty quickly. So if you use a new material by clicking here, and then go more types, it will take you to this page where you can go import. And then it also opens up a whole bunch of other materials for you. So this would be brick. I've been trying to use, so if it's a window glass, just changing the glass. But if you find there isn't really anything that is going to work for you, as long as you head to a material you haven't used yet, you can just apply it. So even if we apply spring plaster and open, and then OK, it will apply that material for us. I've already done this, so I'm just going to cancel out, but that is how you would do that for any of your layers. So anything on a layer will then have the same material. So it's important to keep your layers nice and neat. But if we head back to D5, this brick material, so we can just pop it on here, you will see the surface that you're adding a material to will be outlined in black. And that's how you know that you're selecting the right surface. But you can see here once we place it down, it's really hard to tell it's brick. So we can then head to our material panel along the side, which allows us to edit this material. Similar to when using the models, it has, they call this a stretch, which is where you can scale the material up and down until you get it correct. You can see now we're starting to see the brick, but you can also type it in if you know that it's pretty far off. So even that's probably a bit big, maybe that 150, there you go. But if you've noticed that it's not necessarily facing the way the scene you want it to go, or the scene you're trying to create, there is a simple rotate toolbar here, where it allows you to rotate, because we want to go 90 degrees, you can just simply type it in and there you go. It's rotated the material around for you. I'm going to talk about. So there is this option called scatter. Scatter allows you to basically, as it says, scatter foliage around the scene. So there is options for grass, but if you're wanting something, you have a large area like a forest or something, and you're just wanting to lay down plants, this option is really great for that. So all you simply have to do is tap on whatever scatter you'd like and hover it over the area. And then here it will ask you if you want to create the scatter on that area. So we'll go create. It can just take a little bit of time to load. But once it does, there you go, you can see it here. Obviously maybe not exactly what we need for this scene, but it then breaks up your scatter into the different elements. So you can tap on each of them and decide how big you want them and how small. And also so there you go, you can see because I've scaled them up, there's become a whole lot more within the scene. You can also change their probability, so how much of the scatter is made up of this type of plant. And then you can go through. There's also a few other things that you can look at through here. Collision volume as well, but scale is probably the most important because if it's a really big dense bushland, you probably don't want to increase the scale, but if it's something really small, you'd want to decrease the scale. Obviously for this scene, this is probably a bit too much, but that is how you use it. Able to set like preset environment. So through HDRIs, D5 give you a bunch you can work with. There is things like sunset glow, changes the scene, the atmosphere kind of washes out the background. And then you have midday 2 is quite a common one. It brings back that blue in the sky. So say you're thinking, okay, yeah, I see potential in this scene. You can click on it and then you can start manipulating it the way you'd like. Light doesn't change too much. You can change the rotation of the clouds, they move around a little bit, but you can also then turn on the sun. And then this is where you can play with the intensity, the sun radius, things like that as well. And then playing around with these HDRIs, you can customize it a little bit more, moving the altitude of the sun and things like that.